Hello my friend and welcome back. My name is Hana and today is day 1 of my Declutter series. So if you're curious about what I'm wearing on my face and what I'm doing in other pockets of the internet, I always have links in the description box down below. I will most likely not be linking everything that I mentioned in today's video just because it is quite a number of items. Today's declutter will be for my foundations, for my concealers, for my face powders, and my primers. And since that's already 4 categories of items, it's already gonna be a long video. As I'm filming this video, I'm not quite sure how many videos I'm gonna have. I know at minimum I'm gonna have 4. It's also like freezing, so I'm wearing like the Sanrio like shawl blanket thing. It's ice cold. And what was I saying? I'm gonna flip the camera around so you can kind of see everything that's going on, and I will tell you what I like about an item, what I don't like about an item, why I'm decluttering it. So if you're a big fan of Declutter series, get a snack, take a seat, and let's go through my collection. Okay, so now you can kind of see my vanity tabletop. I do need to clean it, please don't mind me. Okay, so I store my excess product in a container like this, and that's usually what's on my shelving behind me that you can see. And then I have a small container in front of me that has the items that I use on an almost daily basis or every time I do my makeup looks. The items in here tend to be my favorite, and then the items in here, again, are things that I'm either not interested in or I'm swapping out to use something new. I don't really have anything in review right now, nor do I have anything that like is brand new. So I think everything in my collection is safe to either declutter or keep. So I think the first things I'm gonna start with are concealer. So these are the concealers that I have in front of me, and I'll have them here. And then these are the concealers that I have in my container. So let's see, I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 concealers. So let's start with this one. This one is my holy grail. It is the NYX Concealer Serum. This one is pretty much empty, as you can tell. Like I can't even fully push it down, and this one is my backup of that product. I'm obviously keeping this one, and I don't know, like this will last me 1 more week, I think, if that, but then this one will get decluttered, so I'm gonna keep these ones. But I also have this Born to Glow. This is in the same shade. This item has been discontinued, and I think I'm just gonna toss this one. I believe that this is the same formula, just in a different packaging, a different component. It almost works, well, it does work exactly the same, except this one has a puff, and I don't really think I have much product in this at all. Like, this is empty. I think I was just holding on to it in case the serum didn't work out for me, but I can toss this one. This is the Kosas concealer in shade 05W. I'm not a huge fan of this. This might not be my shade, but I also don't like the finish of this concealer. I think it is very like heavy. It creases on me a whole lot. And again, like this is just too dark to be my shade. I don't like anything that's like too bright to highlight, and I do like a concealer that's my shade and then a shade lighter. But I think I'm just gonna toss this one. I'm gonna declutter it because I don't know. I never really liked it, and this is one of those purchases where I feel like I kind of got influenced and all the hype around it made me buy it, and I'm kind of embarrassed by it. This is the Dior Backstage Concealer, and I have mine in shade 2W. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I had bought in a different shade, and I returned it to exchange it for this one because I just felt like it wasn't the proper shade for me. And at first I wasn't a huge fan of this. I thought this was an overpriced concealer because it didn't seem to sit well on my skin. Like, it seemed to work fine within like the first like few hours of wear, but then not something that I could wear to work or something that would age well. But actually, after using it, I really do like this concealer a lot. This is one of those concealers where I can wear it with nothing and just kind of put this under my eyes and, you know, around my face and blend out like I did in today's look. This is something that I can kind of use in my normal day-to-day, how I would normally use a concealer. It's actually pretty nice, and a little bit of this goes a long way, and I think that's the secret. Like the same amount that I would use of the serum, I would use of this. I think that this is a more expensive version of this. I wouldn't say this is like a true dupe by any means, but I think that it performs in the same way, that it is a lighter kind of product, you know. It seemed not, I don't want to say watery, but it is like light, but it blends out really easily, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous product. So I'm going to put this back in its home. And then I have this Marc Jacobs Extra Shot. This is supposed to be like a foundation concealer, and mine is in medium 210. If you've watched my channel for a while, I mean, this was like the last thing Marc Jacobs like released, and then they just stopped being a company altogether, or like a brand altogether. And I mean, it is a beautiful shade. I tried to get one that was more like my skin tone, so that I could, you know, kind of use this as a foundation and as a concealer. But it cracks, it doesn't sit well, and it sold me with the caffeine properties to it, and it's just not very good. So I think I'm gonna say goodbye to this. It's no longer available anyway. There are rumors that Marc Jacobs is like discontinued, or they are coming back just under a new lab, kind of how like YSL and Saint Laurent, you know, are under the same name but not really the same company. I don't know, when you're a fashion house and you do makeup, a lot of the time the makeup is like its own thing, and then like the fashion is another. I don't know. Anyway, long story short, I think it's time to part ways with this one. And then my last two. So I have the Fenty, what is this called? Bright Fix in Butter 05. I'm almost done with this one, and I actually do like this. So before the NYX concealer came out, this was the concealer that I was using because the Born to Glow was discontinued, and I felt like this performs the same way. I do like the brightening effect of this, and pairing this with the Fenty Eavesdrop, you know, like they're a really good combo. This actually works well with a lot of my foundations in my collection, so I'm not mad at it. But I mean, I think I would get like there's like a butter, like a different butter, like a deep butter. I think that one would be more suited to me. Sometimes this can look a little too bright for me. It just depends. So I'm gonna hold on to this product until like I'm done with it, and because I'm like pretty much a little bit more than halfway through, and I don't know if I'll repurchase it. If I do, it would be in a different shade, but I still have my Dior and my NYX Eavesdrop, so I don't know if I'm really in a hurry for a concealer, but I really do like this one. I think this one is really, really nice. And then the last one is this Nabla Regeneration Concealer, and I really wanted to like this. It is a puff again, and then you can turn it. It's supposed to have like hyaluronic acid, I think, in it, but I think the issue with this is that it is a little bit too dark for me. I don't even know if you can see that really on my hand. This is not quite the right shade, so when I use it, it just doesn't look quite right. I think it is a beautiful concealer, but Nabla is one of those brands where like this wasn't available on Ulta, and I'm not quite sure if it's available on Ulta. And ordering from the Nabla website, because they are an Italian indie brand, it does take quite some time to get to me. And because I have other concealers that I like so much, I don't know if I'm really in a hurry to repurchase this. If I'm remembering correctly, this was like $20+ for this concealer, and it's really nice, but then this one's like only $11, and it's my absolute favorite. So I think I'm gonna say goodbye to this one because I'm really not reaching for it, and it's just kind of taking up space in my collection. So those are my concealers. I'm gonna put them to the side. Let's talk about face products. Oh, actually, I did forget. I have 2 more concealers. I also forgot I have 2 more concealers. These are my NARS pot concealers. I have the light 2.3 in Madeline, and then I have cream or light 2.5 cream brulee. Cream brulee I think is like my tone. I think this is like my exact tone, like my exact skin tone. And then the Madeline I think is more of like my highlight shade. I like these to kind of use as like a primer sometimes, depending on like the cool weather out here in the desert. These look really, really nice on my skin, and I'll use these to kind of like spot conceal. So I'm gonna hold on to these as well. I just mostly keep these with like my bronzers for some reason, but I mean I can put them in a new home. So I'm gonna also hold on to these. I mean, I would have to use them this year because I believe like after this year these would be like rancid and would have to get thrown out. So I think I'm just gonna hold on to these, and this will probably be the last declutter that they survive. Okay, let's get into foundations. Let's get into primers because my primers are also fairly short and I only have a few of them. I keep all of my primers in front of me because I need different things for different days. The first one is my Unseen sunscreen from Supergoop. I'm holding on to this one because this is my go-to face sunscreen. I really, really do like this. I can put a primer on top. It just depends, but when I'm going to work, like I just kind of use this and put my makeup on top of it. Or if I'm going out, you know, for the day, this is a really, really nice sunscreen, and I like how it kind of tones down any redness on my face and kind of like doesn't make my face super, super matte, just more of like a satin kind of finish. Like it makes my pores and my oils less noticeable. I have the Nabla Radiant Plumping Serum. This is the Angel Aura, and I was kind of hesitant about this product at first because I wasn't sure if this was going to make my face look super, super dewy. I like this more in the summertime than I do in the wintertime. In the wintertime, because it's so cold out, I think it leaves like a weird texture to my skin and my makeup doesn't sit quite right. So I haven't really been reaching for this, but when it does get a little bit warmer, having this and then using a skin serum on top, it is a really nice combo. It dries down in a way that leaves like not a texture to your face, but there's a little bit of like tackiness to it. Not as much as some of the other primers I'm going to mention, but enough that like in the summertime, because it's going to get hot and I am going to sweat, like it does keep, I can trust that it will keep the minimum amount of makeup that I'm wearing in place. And then I have my Milk Hydro Grip. This is like a smaller sample. I'm most likely, when I'm done with this, gonna buy a full size. This is one of my favorite primers of all time. I like this in the summertime. I like this in the wintertime. I think it's a really great primer. I do put this on my face and then just let it sit for a little bit, and then I go in and do my makeup. I will apply this and then kind of start working on my eyebrows as this is kind of like setting in, and once it has enough of like a tacky but not sticky texture, I know it's safe to put my product on top of it. I can use this with a brush and with sponge application. I just think that there is a little bit of a learning curve to it, but I mean, it's a good product. So in its home, it stays. And then these are the last two. These are from NYX, and this is the Plump Right Back primer, and this is supposed to be the I don't know, the dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip. I have used quite a lot of it, as you can see. Like I'm right here, so it's a little bit more than halfway. This is okay. I will say though that it does leave a bit of like a texture to my skin, and I don't know if it ages as well. I like it enough to hold on to it, but I don't think this is something that I'm going to repurchase. So I think I'm just going to finish this and then not repurchase it. Again, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's as gripping as the Milk Hydro Grip, and it does have kind of like the the same kind of features. Like, it says that it's a plumping serum, the same as like this Nabla one. Whereas this Nabla one looks nice on my skin, this one is almost too dewy. Like, it almost makes my pores in my oily T-zone way noticeable. That's usually where my makeup breaks up first anyway, but when I use this primer, I can't actually use this primer on my T-zone. I can use it everywhere else on my face and it looks beautiful, but on my T-zone, the way when the oils start reacting with this primer, it's not cute. Like, it kind of ages me and makes me have like crazy fine lines, crazy pores that I don't normally have. So again, I'm just going to finish it up and then I'm going to declutter it. And then the last one is this Marshmallow Primer. I did get this as a sample when Ulta will do this thing where, like, if you buy a big enough, like, or make a big enough order, you get like a little NYX like sample collection. And I've gotten some really great things in that collection. But this primer, I don't know, it is very dewy. I've been enjoying it kind of in the winter right now because, like, it is, the winter in the desert is kind of different because it can get very dry and very icy, and I'm noticing that, like, my usual makeup, it ages differently and it looks differently, and a lot of products that I would normally use when it's hot out, like, it has a different effect from when it's cold out. And I thought this was going to be something that I loved a lot more in the winter time, but it's almost too dewy for me. I think this is going to be one that I might declutter. I don't know, I'm still on the fence about it because, like, I will pair this with the sunscreen for work and it looks absolutely beautiful, but if I use this alone as a primer, I don't know, it's too dewy, like, across my face. But I'm also using this with a lot of skin tints, so I'm going to hold on to it, but I don't think this is, again, something that I'm going to repurchase, and I'm only, like, I'm here. I'm, like, towards the bottom. Like, I really tried to give this a go, but it's okay. Like, I wouldn't suggest this one. It's, especially if you have, like, a normal skin type like myself, but, like, an oilier T-zone, I don't know if this one's going to work for you. Okay, so now let's get into my foundations. These are the three that I keep on me in the front, and it's gonna be my Sephora Best Skin Ever. This is in shade 17.5N. This has been my go-to foundation for a lot of my looks, on camera, off camera. I usually don't like to wear something that is this thick and heavy, but this isn't a very thick full coverage foundation. It's slightly thicker than a skin tint, which I like for the winter time. And I think that's why I've been really gravitating towards this one a whole lot. So this one isn't gonna go anywhere. And then I have the Rose Ink Skin Enhanced Luminous Tinted Serum. I love this. This is one of my favorite skin tints. This is beautiful. I have been wearing this one a lot. This is a really beautiful shade. It's almost my exact shade. But in the winter time, it doesn't quite cover up a lot of the, like, redness that I get. Like, my nose turns bright red like Rudolph in the wintertime because I'm so cold. So I do have to use something with a bit more coverage, or I can just kind of, like, soup up on concealer and then put this over, and it looks really pretty. So this also isn't going anywhere. I couldn't suggest this product enough. And then lastly is my Fenty Eavesdrop. I have the shade 8, and I don't know, this one kind of is, it's nice because I love the finish, but I think this isn't quite my right tone. This is, like, almost out anyway. Like, this is almost the same shade as my concealer. Like, this is bright enough to be a concealer, so I don't think it's quite the right shade for my face. So I think I'm gonna declutter this one, but this is, like, again, I love the finish of this. It is so pretty. It is one of the best skin tints. Like, if you couldn't afford the Rose Ink one and you could only, like, get one and have one in your collection, I would suggest the Fenty Eavesdrop. Great product, not my shade. Declutter pile it goes. Okay, so now this is everything that's in my basket. So let's take everything out and let's see what we have. I definitely have more foundations than I thought I did. Okay, let's start with this Nabla Realist. This is like their tinted moisturizer, and this one was like my holy grail for a long time. I stopped using this because I got the Fenty Eavesdrop, but I think this is more for me in the summertime, I think. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful though. I love how this looks. I mean, I don't know, that might be, the sun is so bright. I don't know if you can really tell. I'm not ready to get rid of this one, but I don't know if it'll survive another declutter. This might be the last one that it survives, because I do think that it's really pretty and I do love the finish of this. Maybe I can swap this one out with my rose ink and see, because it is a little bit heavier than the rose ink, where the rose ink is more of like a light finish. This one is more like the Fenty Eavesdrop, where it's not quite a medium finish, but it definitely has more coverage than a light. I'm going to hold on to this one. This one isn't going anywhere. It'll stay one more time. It survives another day. This one, and this is the Uoma Beauty by Sharon C IRL filter. This is in the shade Fair Lady T3. I'm decluttering this one. This is from the Walmart exclusive collection from Uoma Beauty, and they just reformulated their foundation, but this I think is old. Like, it settles weird within the bottle and I can shake it up, but it has like this terrible smell to it. And again, it is almost too light for me as well. I did love it when I first got it. Like, I thought this was beautiful, but I think that the Best Skin Ever by Sephora is a better product. I think these perform in the same way. I think this ages kind of weird on the skin, and Uoma Beauty has like a larger range, but for some reason this by Sharon C off-brand, their shade matches are like very limiting. It's not as broad, and even for like skin tints and lighter things like this, usually they don't have as wide of a range, because like it's a lighter finish, so you can kind of get away with having less shades, because many shades would go under the umbrella of one. Like, that's the logic behind it anyway. And I don't even know if this Uoma Beauty by Sharon C is like still around. It came out and it was such a hassle to even get the products, and like, I live in the States. I have a Walmart that I would go to that carries this in store, but it was always like a hassle, like getting it to ring up at the register, and I've seen a lot of people say the same thing, or like your Walmart wouldn't have all the items and you can order it online, but then shipping for some reason takes a lot longer. And I don't know, I think it was supposed to be like makeup and skincare, and I just haven't really heard anything much about this. There is like, I'm getting a tingling sensation on my hand from where I applied this product. That's weird. Yeah, so I think this is bad. I think this is rancid, and I think it's time for it to go. So that's what I'm gonna do. This is the Hourglass Vanish Foundation Stick in the shade Nude. I loved this when I got it, but this is totally not my shade. I'm not a huge fan of concealer sticks. I would much rather use like my pot concealer. I did have this for like cosplaying, and I would glue down my eyebrows so I can reshape them to look like my anime characters. But this is just too warm of a shade for me, and I kind of don't like the finish of it. I'm ready to let this one go. It can leave my collection. The next item is this Amore Us Dream Lover Matte Finish Weightless Foundation in the shade Fair. I think there's only 4 shades of this, and this is this is definitely an affordable brand. I'm not quite sure how I even found it really. It was just, I was looking for colored eyeliner, and then they had this. So this is kind of similar to the Best Skin Ever, where like it's more of like a moussey foundation. Or like a gel-like foundation, but this seems like to be a bit more moussier than a gel finish. I really only like this because this is what I use to cover up my eyebrows when I want to have no eyebrows, or if I want to cosplay. So I'm holding on to this, but this isn't really something that I ever use on camera. This is definitely full coverage. I mostly use this just to cover my eyebrows. That's it. Like, I don't use this on the rest of my face. But it does blend out pretty nicely. Like, when I do cover my eyebrows, a majority of my face base comes from doing this. So kind of like blending it out and working it through the face, like it looks a lot better. And I don't have to go in with another product to cover up. This is an eyebrow product, but it's staying. Okay, and then, oh God, I hate this. So I'm decluttering this one, but this is the Ulta Beauty Complexion Crush Medium Coverage. This is supposed to be the Ulta version of the Best Skin Ever, and this just doesn't look right. I hate how this looks. It ages your skin so much. It settles in every fine line, and no powder can save it, and it's just... it's not good. I really wanted to like this. I heard really good things about this. And I was really excited to find like an affordable skin tint, but this isn't it. Like I don't know. I gotta get rid of it. I don't like it. And then this is my other Best Skin Ever. This is in shade 25N. I'm holding on to this one because this one is more for when I'm out in the sun. This is like a deeper tone, and I can kind of mix it with the other one that I have in between. I love the finish of this. I mean, I kept the other one, so I'm going to keep this one. It's just a deeper shade. And then I have this Natasha Denona Transformative Pore Vanishing Matte Foundation. This is in the shade 25N, 25NY. I think this one is the one that's discontinued. I keep seeing it on their site though, and like they don't have it at Sephora, but I see it on their site, and sometimes it restocks and sometimes it doesn't. But I really, oh, that doesn't sound right. I really like this one. Like, this is a really nice skin tint. I just haven't used it in a while, but it is really pretty. Is it maybe too dark for me? I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I'm gonna hold on to it. This, again, like the Novel product, will probably be the last declutter it survives, because then I think I will have to get rid of it after this. Let's see if I even use it next year. If I don't use it at all next year, I will for sure have to throw it out. But like, I don't know. I don't even know if this is an item that's still... I have like half of it left. So maybe I can work through it this year. It does look really pretty though. Okay, and then these are the last two, and I mean, these two are kind of similar in that. So this is the new YSL skin tint. I have mine in the shade 8. And I love the finish of this. Like, this reminds me of the Best Skin Ever because it is more of like a gel-like skin tint. But this shade isn't for me. The shade range in this collection is kind of hit or miss. Like, this is really dark. This is really, really dark. And I think this is supposed to be like a light to medium. It is too dark for my skin, I think. Like, no thank you. I want to hold on to it because I like it, but this just isn't my skin tone, and it's like not even the right like base color for me. So I think it's just time to let it go. I gotta declutter it. Like the Fenty Eavesdrop, I love this product. Like, I think the finish is so beautiful, but this isn't the shade for me. It's too dark. And then the last one is the Becca Light Shifter in Light Seeker 2.5. And I mean, I got this at the beginning of the year. Well, maybe not the beginning of this year. I can't remember. Becca's already been gone. I already made that video. Becca's been gone for a whole year. It's really pretty. I don't know. Like, It is kind of dewy on my skin. It is kind of like too dewy on my skin. I don't know, am I gonna use it one last time before I say goodbye? Maybe. It's just, I heard really good things about it, and when I first started using it, I really liked it. And then after some time, like, I don't know, it just kind of sat weird on my face. Like, it makes my oily T-zone even more noticeable. But am I gonna hold on to it and see if I use it? I think it's it. I think actually, you know what? I think I'm just gonna declutter it and get rid of it because there's no point. There's no point. I'm not really gonna use it on camera because it's not available. I have other skin tints in my collection that I like a whole lot more. And looking at how much product I have left of this versus all the other things that I have in my collection, I know I'm not gonna use it. I don't know. And that's kind of a shame. Again, this is one of the last things Becca released before they announced that they were closing as a company, and I thought it was really good, and I thought a lot more people would have liked this, but this was not something that Smashbox picked up, unfortunately. So that's that. I do have one powder foundation from Kiko Milano. This was from their spring collection, and what shade is this? This is Blossoming Beauty, Hydrating and Long-Lasting Blurring Effect in Light Neutral, shade 2. I'm going to hold on to this one. I do like this one more in the springtime. It is really pretty. It's not too dewy, but it's not matte by any means. I think it does give more of a satin finish. And I don't know, this paired with like some sunblock, it's really nice. It's really pretty. So I'm going to hold on to this one. And I think that's it for foundations. Oh, actually, hold on. I do have this Givenchy Tint Couture City Balm. This was a backup of one that I bought, and like this is in shade N200. I've never used this. I've never opened this. I decluttered the other one, so I do think it's kind of funny I have this one in my collection. I'm gonna give this one to a friend, I think, that might like this. This just wasn't it for me. It like was too matte on my skin, and it sat funny on my skin, and I just couldn't get this product to work for me. And I think it's gotta go. It's been in its box since I bought it at the beginning of this year, and I never even opened it. I never touched it. And again, I decluttered the original one that I had bought. It's gotta go. Decluttered. Okay, so now that is all of my foundations, and let me just put them back in its home. And then let's talk about powders, because I have quite a number of them. And so the two that I mostly use are right in front of me here, and that's gonna be my NYX banana powder. You can tell, like, I really love this product so much. It's my favorite, and I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna hold on to it, and I'm gonna put it in its home right in front of me. And then this is the Sephora Micro Smooth Multitasking Baked Face Powder in 25 Beige. I love this. I didn't think I was gonna like this as much. Like, it used to be like the Kosas like bronzer where it was domed, and like I think I'm gonna hit pan on this. This is one of my favorite, like, I don't know, I use this to kind of set my face. I just go in with like a bigger, fluffier brush, and I kind of just sweep it over my face to hold my foundation and my skin tints in place, and it looks really good. Like, this does exactly what the NYX banana powder does for concealers, but this does it for my foundations, and I love these two. I love them so much, so they're not going anywhere. I have two Nabla close-up smoothing pressed powders. I have one in medium and I have one in light. So this is the shade Light. I love the compacts. They're so pretty. They kind of remind me, or when the Odin's Eye Soulmate 2 blushes and highlights came out, they reminded me of this packaging. And I really wanted to like these were the first face powders I kind of had in my collection, and I think I liked them because I didn't really have anything like this in my collection at the time. But the medium is not the shade for me. It has more of like a red base, and then the light is almost too light for me. It has more of like a pinky base, and so I can't really use either of these, and they don't perform nearly as well as my other two face powders, so it's time to say goodbye. Like I gotta get rid of these ones. And then I have I have a backup of my NYX banana powder. That's not going anywhere. I'm holding on to it and I'm keeping it. And then I do have the NYX High Glass finishing powder. Mine is a little bit cracked right here. I don't know if you can really tell, but I love this. So if the Sephora baked face powder is more of like I don't want to say that it's matte, because it doesn't like take the moisture out of my face, but it definitely like kind of smooths out any like fine lines or pores or oil on my face, like, and even kind of touching up my makeup with that powder looks really nice. This does the same thing, but this is more of like a dewy finish. I like this with my skin tints when it's a little bit warmer out and I can kind of get away with looking a bit more dewy. And I don't know, this is kind of like the last, like this is a discontinued item. So I think I'm just gonna use this up and then say goodbye, and then, I don't know, cry a little bit. But then I feel like, you know, Sephora might make a version of this like they did like their baked powder. Like, I don't know, maybe they'll have like a more like dewier kind of one, but I'm gonna save these two because I really do enjoy them. And then I do have this Laura Mercier mineral setting powder. This is the Iconic setting powder. I got this at my TJ Maxx a while ago, and I'm holding on to this because it's like I need a powder when I, again, cover my eyebrows, and I do a lot of different like cosplay looks. And this is a nice powder for what I use it for. I don't really bake or do anything on my skin really. This is, again, just more for like my cosplay or if I need a translucent powder. So I mean, it serves a purpose, but it's not something that I like always use. And then this is the Becca, what is it? Becca Light Shifting Finishing Veil in Star Child 2. This is exactly what the NYX High Glass powder was. And because I'm holding on and saving the NYX the High Glass, I think I'm going to declutter this one as well. Because just like the skin tint, Becca is no longer a company. I do like this though because it is like a mirror, you know, and like there is the mirror on the inside. Like the compact is so cool, and I'm just really disappointed that this wasn't something that Smashbox picked up. But I don't really use this, and it didn't really set my skin as nicely as other powders in my collection really, and mine kind of has a little bit of hard pan, as you can see. So I don't know, I'm gonna declutter it. It's not really serving any purpose anymore in my collection. And then I have these two. I have the Marc Jacobs finishing line in 34 Invisible. I mean, this kind of serves the same purpose as my Laura Mercier. I think I'm pretty much almost done with this one, I think. Where the Laura Mercier is more matte, this one has more of like a skin-like finish. So I'm gonna hold on to it because, I don't know, it's like the same product. Like, I don't hate this, but it's also like discontinued, and this is more for cosplay than it is like my day-to-day or YouTube makeup looks. And then this is the this is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. I'm gonna declutter this one. This one is old. I think I got this when this product like went live, and I just don't like it as much as I like these two loose powders, and I don't need 3 of them, so that one can go. I don't know. I don't really like, this didn't really set anything for me, and it kind of made my face look a bit more like greasy looking. So I'm just not a huge fan, and I'm just going to keep these two. So I think that's it. Let's look at all the items that I'm decluttering. Here, I'll put these concealers in here. And this is everything that I'm decluttering. Or you can't even see these ones. So let's count. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 items I'm decluttering out of my collection. I don't feel like I have a large like YouTube makeup content creator collection, nor is that my intent to have that. I want fewer but nicer things, you know. We'll definitely see how, like, when we get to blushes, you'll see that I have a huge problem with like blushes and bronzers and that kind of thing. But I feel really content about this. I don't know, I'm not really sad about what I'm getting rid of here. Like, it kind of makes sense to me. I'm ready to let it go. And I don't know, maybe I'll pick up like other things in the upcoming year, like new releases and things like that. But from what I do have, I'm really happy with them, or at least enough to like work through them and get rid of them. So I think this is a good spot to start. So let me know in the comments down below, am I decluttering any of your holy grail items? Or maybe you considering decluttering the same items. I don't know. I feel like this makes sense to me. This just makes sense. And if you liked hanging out today and you would like to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because like I said earlier, I believe I should have a minimum of 4 decluttering videos, I think. And they should be coming out. I'm thinking every Thursday I will have a new declutter video. But I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.